what is going, you support what's being supported. Not like that, rather I brought an expert, Mr. Bwambale Bernard. He's an expert food safety specialist in Uganda. He's actually one of the best food specialists that have mastered the art of the safety. If you're eating food, he sees only dangers and the aflatoxins rather than nutrients. For me, I love nutrients. For me, focuses on the safety of food. Now, Mr. Wambale, who is doing right, me or you?
Just imagine if you took food with nutrients and then it is contaminated.
Now, when you're doing contamination, you take away what I have said.
No, because the contaminated food is just not safe. That is another word. So if you have the nutrients well immersed in the food, and then the food is not safe, it literally means that all the nutrients you've just taken in, you're going to throw them in the toilet, or you're going to vomit them out. So literally, you have done nothing.
So in actual sense, if I have educated people that, friends, if you buy fruits and vegetables that are essential for water-soluble vitamins, especially, please go to Kalera and buy them and eat 5 portions every day.
Yes.
And Bernard comes in.
Just know it from me that if it is not safe, it is not food. So you're basically buying something else. Anything that is going to kill you ceases to be food, however nutritious it is. So literally there is no nutrition, there is no food security without food safety.
Please introduce yourself to our viewers, then you can go ahead with the very important topic of aflatoxins and safety news.
Well, thank you, Kamara, once again for hosting me on our beautiful TV. I'm glad again to come here to share with the masses about this whole subject. You know, a few days ago, we had the president saying that he's going to issue an executive order to the groundnut traders to stop actually trading groundnuts in Uganda.
Which should be true.
Which is just because of the high levels of aflatoxins in the groundnuts. So on this show, I will be exploring what aflatoxins are, what does it mean to us, and why the president is even more concerned to actually close business when it comes to foods that are actually high in aflatoxins. So my name is Bernard Wambale. I serve with Consent. Consent is the Global Consumer Center. Our major role, every day when I wake up, I just want to ensure that the consumer is having safety, or the consumer is protected. It's going to be the consumer of food, the consumer of IT, the consumer of anything, but consumer protection is our business. How do we ensure that the consumers are actually protected everywhere? I also, by God's grace, I coordinate all the food safety activities in the country. So I'm the food safety coordinator for the Food Safety Coalition. So the coalition that brings together different partners, different actors that are within the food value chain that are interested in the subject of food safety. I coordinate those efforts to make sure that we all focus on food safety and deliver it to the masses. Okay. So that is me. And yeah, so I'll be diving in within the course of time to explore this.
Very important. We want to welcome you to Google Data Vision. We are happy and lucky to bring you experts on board so that you can hear from the expert opinions and suggestions and the advice that you can put into practice with immediate effect, actually. Because remember, with food, you have to be serious, cautioned, and you start on the appropriate practices that he's going to recommend. Now, we need to know what are aflatoxins, and you say anything that you feel you should say about food aflatoxins, even the foods that contain these very aflatoxins, and how aflatoxins generated.
Well, thank you, Kamara. Now, I don't want us to speak science, because when we speak science, we usually confuse the consumer.
And the consumer's ignorance is manipulated. Exactly.
So what I need now to do is on this show, I'll talk through aflatoxins in the local language that people can even actually just understand.
Like the mold.
You see, like the word toxin just means poisonous. Now, whenever we're talking about aflatoxins, we are talking about, if you just see food, let's say cassava, or you see bread, or you see maize, and this maize
or sweet
potatoes, yes, and it has mold. Mold, specifically the mold which looks like a little green. You know, there are different molds. There's even white, you can find a mold,
black.
But yes, so the moment you find mold on your food, that is just a sign that something is inside there that is not right. So aflatoxins are just produced by a fungus, commonly aspergillus flavus. Now that one is science, leave it alone. But it is a fungus that enters this food, contaminates it, and starts producing toxins, which are now chemical compounds, which are poisonous. Just like I said, toxin basically means a poisonous. Now this poisonous chemical compound is just released by the fungus
in the form
that has entered. Yes. So what you see outside, a manifestation of that fungus having entered there is the mold.
So you said that which type of mold is dangerous?
So when you see green-like mold,
it's the dangerous.
You see, that's most dangerous. Actually, then, that one is very dangerous.
Then the black one.
So you can have black mold, you can have white mold, you can have gray mold. They are all not good.
I have also seen the pink mold on, on maize.
Red-like or something. So all those are different fungal kind of manifestation in the food. They are all not good. But the most catastrophic one is that one which is good.
I see in high school, if blade wants to go bad, you can remove the carpet and eat the part.
So
even the sweet potatoes.
I have seen it even
what
homes,
would happen?
In homes, bread is starting to create mold, and then you see someone say, "Oh, okay," then they chop off that. You see where you're seeing mold. It's just a manifestation that the bread is actually infested by the fungus, not that piece. It's just like when you get sick, you have malaria. Now, your malaria starts probably manifesting as headache, general body weakness, or something related. So you won't say that, now, since I'm feeling headache, I think it's not malaria. So it is just the same that when you feel the headache and maybe the shivering or whatever, malaria is all over the body.
So it is not only in the head,
it is all over.
Where the fever is, it is.
And that is why if I picked a blood sample from your finger, and another doctor comes and picks a sample from the leg, another person picks a sample from wherever,
from the liver,
and all of us put it to the
side.
Yes, and then we put it to the test of malaria. It will give all of us malaria. So that bread you are cutting like a piece, just know it is already there. You're literally supposed to discard it. And
now I have seen the new trend that, for example, if you find these packaged foods with expiry date, that if you find maybe to expire maybe 5th of February, that expiry works for the tin, not for the product inside.
You see,
I've just had like 5 people telling me this thing.
You see, from the food safety experts, if you have a product and they say it is expiring on the 20th of February, that expiry date is only applicable before you open that product. Because, just like I'm going to share with you, when you open a pack, let's say maize flour, and you open it, they have told you the expiry date is on the 21st of February, and you're opening it today on the 15th. The mere fact that you've opened it and you've left it in an open, the expiry dating ceases to work, because this is now exposed to moisture, it is exposed to dust, it is exposed to insects,
to air,
it is exposed to air,
to bad hands,
so everything, so everyone is touching. If you go to your homes, 1 kilogram. If you go to your homes, let's say you've gone to a nearby shop and they have just bought maize flour, which was sealed, and they're saying, oh, expiry date 25th of February. And then the guy opens it and puts it like that in the shop. You've seen how our shops are.
Yes.
So when that is opened, expiry things no longer work, because day and night, the pack is opened, exposed to moisture. So the moment it's exposed to moisture, it means that life starts getting in there. Microorganisms are able to survive there because there is moisture, there is air, there is whatever it is. And then here comes the scooping thing. That thing they use for scooping.
Even the hand is every day.
Now, the scooper leaves the beans, it goes to the maize flour, it leaves the maize flour, it goes to the peanuts, it goes to the sugar. And so all of that contamination is happening. So whereas the person who was manufacturing or maybe processing and packed in airtight, whatever, knew that life cannot be there until the 25th of the month. But the moment you open it and then you just leave it there, the way most of us are in our homes tend to behave, then the expiry is not working. That is why I will advise us to always buy food in small quantities, so that you avoid the risk of contaminating the food.
So I'm saying small quantities, because now I'm going to buy 1 kg of posho.
Yes. you will buy a kg and you cook porridge today or tomorrow. Tomorrow you eat posho, and it's not staying longer, that actually you'll have a lot of exposure to moisture, to whatever. So you're able to consume it within a period of about 2 to 3 days.
How will I ensure that where I've bought the sack was closed?
Now, that is why the packaging issue in this country is a mess. Food like, let's say the processed food is not supposed to be kept in an open. As we're going to discuss how that affects. And that is one of the reasons why our food is highly contaminated with aflatoxins. Because where are the aflatoxins coming from? The aflatoxins want moisture. The moment the food is moist, the fungus, Aspergillus flavus, finds solace. Now for it is sorted. The moment it sees water or moisture, comfortable, it's going to reproduce, multiply as fast as it can, because what it needs, it just needs small amounts of moisture in a particular food, and then it is able to thrive. So the moment you expose flour or groundnuts or whatever to moisture, you are basically attracting the fungus to come and stay and grow and manipulate itself, and then it is all over. That is how aflatoxins start, and that's how they come.
So now, oh my goodness, this is a very important health talk show, and of course, I'll ask my producer to replay it all the time in case Now, we want also to look at the foods that are commonly contaminated with aflatoxins in Uganda.
So when you look at our country, first of all,
what is an aflatoxin in Uganda? Have you known it?
Kati, if you want to explain it in Uganda, you say okuwumba. Yes, like the mold. That's how you describe it in Uganda. So in Uganda, it has no name apart from using the mold as a descriptive to mean aflatoxins. Yes. Okay. So the Batoro, the Wanyankole, the Bakonzo, they have the same word.
Which one is that?
No, they use oluwombo. Like okuwumba means molding. When you go to Fort Portal, Kasese, that's right. That is what they describe it. But anyhow, let us look at the foods. The aflatoxins are prominent in maize. Maize. It is actually in Uganda, it is the commonest, the food that is suffering locally from aflatoxins. That is why you realize a few months ago, I think it was last year, around June, July, we saw Southern Sudan, the most vulnerable country in the East African community. They rejected maize from Uganda. Can you imagine? Sudan, whose refugees we are even hosting, they rejected maize. I think there were about 75 trucks of maize.
I remember.
They were rejected at the border of South Sudan just because the maize did not meet the aflatoxin test. The aflatoxin content was higher than the maximum we can expect. Our standard says that if food has at least 10 parts per billion of aflatoxins, it can be consumed by human beings. That is minimal. It cannot cause a lot of trouble to human beings. Now, if the maize was rejected from a border point, it means that our aflatoxin levels were higher than what a human being can consume. A few months ago again, still last year and even the other year, Kenya just recently also rejected our maize. Over 20,000 tons of maize at the Kenya border. Why? Aflatoxins in the maize. Now, what is sad, of course, would be that, okay, when they rejected it, what happened? So the standard says that when we reject maize that is high in aflatoxins, we are supposed to get that maize and then we burn it. Actually, we are not even supposed to burn it. We are supposed to incinerate it.
Did they burn it?
It is not fit for human beings.
Did they even incinerate it?
We don't know. So the risk now here is, if the other country rejects your food as not fit for human beings, the question would be, how did it even reach the border? So that one starts questioning our capacity to test for aflatoxins in the country. It starts shaking our ability as a country to regulate what goes out of the country. It starts shaking the ability of the country to actually manage some of these regulatory frameworks that we have. Are we implementing the laws? Are we implementing regulations? Are we implementing standards? Because we have them. Now, if a country rejects, that means there's a problem in the country that is actually exporting. And you know what that means? The effect is when our food is rejected at a border point of another country, Uganda loses credibility, trade credibility. It means that Kenya, every home in Kenya eats maize every day. And if they are getting our maize to take there to eat, it means that our maize is not considered as prime to them because it is contaminated, and they are not willing to kill their people. That is what it means. If you go back to our schools, every school in this country, including universities, we depend on maize meal.
Every day.
Every day. By the way, every student or pupil in Uganda in a boarding school eats a minimum of 3 plates of portion.
Per day?
Per day. You are eating porridge, which is maize. You are eating lunch, which is maize meal. You are eating dinner, which is maize meal. So literally, someone is consuming 3 plates of food per day of contaminated maize, if at all it is contaminated. Now, if you have 18 million children in a school, and each one of them is taking 3 plates per day, how many plates are we talking about?
Oh my goodness.
That's how we need to calculate it. So you're talking about around 54 million plates every day. So assuming that the maize you've supplied to the schools is actually contaminated with aflatoxins, it means that you are serving 54 contaminated plates of aflatoxins. Maybe to bring it a little bit to the picture, what is the effect of aflatoxins? Maybe people could understand it.
You said that toxin is poison.
Exactly.
And I didn't know Afra, by the way. What did you say is Afra?
Sorry?
What did you say is Afra?
Afra is more or less of plant. So it's like more or less of food, a toxin in the food. So ideally, that is what it is. So what is happening is that when I eat food, let us say maize, and the maize is contaminated with aflatoxins. Now I want to take you back to your nutrition thing.
I'm here listening.
Aflatoxins, they have the ability to actually bind with the active sites of your nutrients. Yes, that's what happens. So this aflatoxin guy,
so they fight for the binding sites.
So they will come. Actually, for them, they don't even want to compete with your nutrients. What they do, they just come and attach themselves to the nutrient. Meaning that when this aflatoxin is attached to your nutrient, this nutrient has no site to your digestive whatever and whatever, our absorption and whatnot.
It remains there without any function.
So what happens is that when the nutrient, let us say micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, whatever, if they have been, if there is an attachment of an aflatoxin on them, they just mean the body idle because they cannot able to perform their role, since they are not actively available for metabolism to occur. That is how bad an aflatoxin can cause. Now, assuming that this baby is below 5 years, is taking aflatoxin-rich food, you know what is happening to her or him? It means that the micronutrients that are responsible for brain development are not actually performing the role of building the brain. And as a nutritionist, you know what that means? It means that the neurons are not dividing, they are not growing. So if they are not growing, that is when we start talking about stunting. So now stunted growth comes in. Now, if you go into analysis, what does stunting do?
So much more.
It means that the children will not grow in the brain, and so they will not be productive, they will not be innovative, they will fail in school, they will keep dropping out of school, and when they drop out of school, they get pregnant early if they are girls.
Now the poverty cycle.
Now, you know what it means by a girl giving birth at 14? The risk of stunting becomes cyclic. So she gives birth to a stunted child, and the thing continues. But where are we getting the stunted growth? The girl consumed highly contaminated food with aflatoxins, which hindered the ability of the person to actually have active sites on the nutrients, and the nutrients were idle. So now you have consumed your nutrient-dense food, and then the child is not able to utilize the food. So where is the nutrition?
That we shout about every day.
That is one. Let me quickly give you another.
Please do.
You've seen children who have severe acute malnutrition. The process is the same. When the aflatoxins are actually affecting the nutrients, absorption and digestion or whatever, kids have eaten food, but the food is not getting functioning in the body because they have aflatoxins attached to them. So you're literally eating, you get satisfied, but there is no function you're deriving from food. And so we see children going into severe acute malnutrition, and we handle them here at Mulago and other hospitals where we are serving. We find children having moderate acute malnutrition. We find children having micronutrient deficiencies, anemia and whatever, zinc deficiency, vitamin A deficiency. Where are those deficiencies coming from? Yet people are eating every day. Actually, UNBS was showing, rather UBOS was showing that the frequency of meals, the number of times children are eating, almost 65% of our children here eat more than 3-4 meals in a day.
A day?
Yes, that is what UBOS is showing. But when it comes to the quality of the food they are eating, less than 8%. It was actually reporting 7% of children who are having a quality meal. But 65 are eating frequent. So you are eating many more times, but the quality of what you're eating is zero.
Not standard.
So that is one. So meaning that aflatoxins is a contributing factor to malnutrition. That is the point.
That's not usually coming about.
And that one, no one talks about it. And so we keep on saying, oh, the rates of stunting are high, oh, but we are not looking at where could it be coming
That's more issues
from.
that matter.
And so we look at them as small, but they are actually affecting the economy. That is one. Number two, cancer of the liver in Uganda has been attributed to the consumption of high amounts of aflatoxin-rich foods.
I think you're coming to the president's point now.
Exactly. So when the president was saying
the
scientists have advised the president, but you
should be the one advising the president.
Don't worry, that one is another discussion. But what is happening? What is happening is these are toxins. Just like I've told you, toxins, poisons. They can only be regulated in the liver. You know, one of the functions of the liver is to detoxify the body.
Yes.
Now, you've eaten food January, February, March, April, May, June.
July, August.
Up to the end of the term. And the person is taking high aflatoxins. And they're all going to the liver for detoxification. They are going to the liver, and the liver is trying. Now a liver reaches a point when it cannot help.
It's overwhelmed.
By the way, you are talking about aflatoxins, but then you know the other poisons. You are eating formalin, you are eating, all those are going to the liver. So time comes and the liver cannot support a human being because of the garbage that we take in. And then at the end of the day, what the liver does, it goes into a kind of a strike. It is no longer knowing what to do because it is overwhelmed by the poisons that we are taking in. And one of the strong poisons are aflatoxins. So when it reaches that point, the liver has no option. It says, now my child, I have supported, but I cannot do anymore. And so we start having liver cancers coming in. And where the liver cancer is coming in? Because of the high content of aflatoxins that are actually invading the liver. So that is where the liver cancers are actually on an increase because people are eating a lot of aflatoxins. Just imagine, serve a plate of posho, aflatoxins. Accompanied with vinyewa, aflatoxins. Accompanied with your bread. So you see that, my friend, it's a whole mess. So I'm still talking now about the maize. That is one superfood that has aflatoxins, but consumed widely in our schools, in our homes, in our communities, in prisons, everywhere. That is that. But also we have groundnuts.
Yes, G-nuts.
In the whole country, every region eats groundnuts. Go to Gulu, okay, the northern part.
It's where they are mashed.
They can never eat meals which are not pested.
I know, pesting is like a special diet to them.
It's just, but what are they pesting with? Now is the question. So it means that every day, if you've not managed your groundnuts.
I have seen now they even pest meat.
Everything.
Pested meat is for 10,000.
Ah, my friend, pested meat, pested fish, pested bob, everything.
Pested.
Cross over to the east.
It is the same.
Those guys cannot eat anything that has no vinyewa. At least a pest. Go to my home area. We cannot eat sombe. You know sombe?
Yes.
Cassava leaves, you have to put vinyewa. In dry fish, we have to put peanuts. Everything. If you go to West Nile, it is the same story. Now, you guys who have gone to school, we have said, okay, since you guys don't want to eat vinyewa, we've made it into peanut butter. So you'll also find it and put it on your breads and whatever. A lot of products. Now, if the groundnuts are highly toxic with aflatoxins because of the poor handling, like I'm just going to go there shortly, it means that everybody has a share of the aflatoxins in the G-nuts. So you see that the foods that are actually common to us are the ones we are mishandling to give us disease. They are highly nutritious, but they are also prone to aflatoxins if not well handled. Now, away from the nuts and the maize, that's what many people know. Now, you have cassava. Cassava, this one where people are just recklessly handling cassava. People are drying cassava on tarmac roads. People are handling cassava on top of rusted iron sheets. People are handling food on bare ground. Why won't the molds come? So when that mold comes, remember, in my country, in my area, cassava is our staple. You cannot spend a day without eating cassava. And it's the one you are mishandling. It is your staple, that is what is causing us disease. Go to the east, everyone eats kalo. But kalo from what? Millet and and cassava. So the aflatoxin.
I think for us, eating karo is like a special event.
Really? I mean, yes. But you see, in communities where they don't eat, for instance, cassava, let us say Uganda, for them they eat matoke. Yeah? But that staple food called matoke, the accompaniment for it is vinyewa.
Yes.
So you're not running away from these foods. So away from that, eggs. It is very unfortunate that eggs, milk are now also prone to aflatoxins. Why?
How are eggs prone? How are
now
they?
you see that the feeds that we give to the animals are made from bran.
Maize
The
bran.
bran, which is maize, which was mismanaged. Now you see what happens is that when they process maize, bran is like a waste, and yet for nutrition it will be something that should be eaten by people. That's why you see the pigs growing fat and the children are getting malnourished.
And that's why we're saying, go.
Okay, that is another thing. Anyhow, this conversation is interesting, that in such a way that garbage in, garbage out. So when you throw away your bran, which had aflatoxins, and you feed them to your pigs, you feed them to your poultry,
Your dogs,
you feed them to your whatever,
whatsoever.
they also receive the aflatoxins that way, and they become your meat.
They receive their share.
So you'll get eggs that are contaminated with aflatoxins because of the bran that was contaminated with aflatoxins. You will get milk which is contaminated with aflatoxins. You will get meat which is contaminated with aflatoxins. The sad story with aflatoxins is that aflatoxins don't smell. To think that now when I serve vinyewa in a restaurant and I test them, they will smell aflatoxin. They don't. So you'll just have to eat. So if
You have to enjoy the delicacy.
you just have to enjoy. That is the problem with aflatoxins. They don't smell. They don't have a particular flavor.
I'm just now seeing a simple scenario here in Kampala and these food places where, for example, they cook peanuts and sometimes they add cooking oil.
Yes.
Now there's an aflatoxin.
I am telling you, it is a whole mess.
I find you are dying double.
Yeah, triple.
Often say that in Rishiga Nyakore there's a saying that says kufera having in kamakara. Like you find you know when you are making charcoal,
Both sides.
you have to ensure that
The entire.
airtight so that you don't.
So you have nothing to do with it.
So
it's a whole mess. But where are we getting the aflatoxins from? Maybe let us also go there, because now we have known that your maize, your peanuts, your millet, even actually millet, your eggs, your potatoes, your cassava, they're all prone.
the handling procedures are
Now the challenge is the handling. The handling. Now
we intend to go for a short quick break,
Okay,
Mr. Bernard. You should
yes.
first rest, go and think
Please.
more information, but also promote a simple business that will have at Google Data Vision.
Right.
And when you come back, we shall talk about very much more important information about the aflatoxin. We shall also call upon the government to lift up the ban, and also we shall we should even convene the president as a nutritionist and meet him. Why shouldn't we? We are noble professionals.
Yeah, sure.
See you shortly.
Good Day TV, transforming your life.
God's Way High School Maganjo. With immense gratitude to God, we celebrate the outstanding achievements of our O and A-level students. At O level, we are blessed to have 2 students scoring straight 8s, 2 scoring 9 in 8 subjects, and that impressive 103 first grades. At A level, 3 students achieved an outstanding 20 points, 2 scored 19 points, and a remarkable 8 scored 18 points. We are incredibly proud that all 100 students met the university admission requirements. These results are a testament to the hard work of our students, teachers, and the unwavering grace of God. Here's to continued success.
There is a mindset challenge that is faced by Africans all over the continent that needs to be distorted. With Dr. Bolingo's Unlock the Mind book series, this is finally sorted. Designed alongside mindset change trainings for learning institutes, churches, teenagers, and leaders, here are mind-provoking practical guidelines that put to task every African to have their own share of bread. For orders and more information, please call +256 752 831 236 or +256 755 137 187 or visit Amazon and all book centers in the city near you. Brought to you by Citizen for God's Kingdom.
Oyagala byofumba bijje mangu nga tofunye buzibu bwa mukkakosa bulamu bwo. Weekwate mobile stoves tukukolera ebyoto ebikekkereza enku wamu n'amanda omuli ebyoto bya sola ebikozesa volcanic stones wamu n'olusennyente nga tukolera ne biogas okuva mu busa saako oven gattako sauna eriko owawaka naawe wa bizinensi ku bbeeyi etakubya ntunnonsi. Kati ndaba amasomero, amalwaliro, awaka, amakanisa, factories, hotels wamu ne restauranti mutuyite tubazimbire ebyoto bino kuba 078 47 08 96 ne 0750 82 41 oba jangu ku office zaffe na Mugongo Kyali Wajjara Road opposite ne Dawson Pet.
Good Day TV, transforming.
To our health and beauty program with me, Kamara Daniel. And of course, just like we've been saying about aflatoxins, but of course we want now to look into the practices or the ways that you are doing your food that are exposing it to aflatoxins, thus rendering it dangerous for human consumption and also to higher trade markets that we think that would promote your agricultural practices. We still have Mr. Wambari Bernard, but of course we want him to use our social media platforms as usual. Visit our YouTube, Good Television, Twitter, Good Television, Facebook, and open your comments about this very important program. Mr. Wambari, what are some of those practices that do these ones actually concern the farmers only? Because, for example, me, I'm not a farmer, but I can also have food that I can make have aflatoxins.
Thank you, Daniel. So the aflatoxins can come at any point of the value chain.
Okay. So
it's a value chain challenge. So it can be at the farmer's level. Now you see, in the olden days, you have refused to comprehend the indigenous knowledge. You remember in those days, women and men knew when the rains were coming. So they will tell you it is going to rain tomorrow. The rains begin tomorrow. They had their signs. And so they would make sure that they get their unshelled groundnuts and actually unshell them. And they make sure that as it rains, the seed is already in the garden. What is happening with us is that we get the groundnuts and we keep them in an open, and then we tend to grow them later on. But they are just exposed. So you can plant a seed that is already having aflatoxins. So when you plant that seed, it means that the produce that you're going to have will be contaminated. So it's an issue of...
Yes. So it means the aflatoxin can grow within the food again?
Yes, because the groundnuts...
From germination to planting and even...
Yes. Usually what is happening is that the moment the aflatoxin enters the maize, and for you go and plant it, the planting does not kill the fungus. The fungus goes along with the maize or the guineas. So that's how it is, and that's how funny it is. So it means that many farmers can actually plant seed that is already affected or infected. Have you ever seen how people in the villages sort groundnuts? There are these small groundnuts which are like, when you look at them, it's like they are burnt. And when you eat them, they are actually bitter. That is one way we test locally the aflatoxins in food. If you consume the groundnut and it is bitter, it means that you're just taking in a dose of aflatoxins. So you'd find that people want to sell the good ones, and then the small ones they cook for their children. So you find that now people consume a lot of aflatoxins, those children whose parents are actually the ones producing the food. So aflatoxins can be at the farm level.
They are the ones that they leave to pound.
Yes, yes, exactly. And then you also remember in the olden days, these elders would keep their groundnuts in shells. So when you're going to cook, they get like a barrel of unshelled, and then you
start opening.
You start opening, and then they pound and they make sauce. That was indigenous knowledge. They knew that the moment you expose it from that shell, you stand a risk of contaminating it.
Yes.
But the shell, because it is intact, the thing is inside, your moisture will just
carry it
exactly.
all the time.
So that's why they would make sure they dry very properly, and they keep them in shells. So when you want to make a meal, they unshell and you pound and you consume. That is how they were managing it, to fear the moisture. Now currently, because we have gone away from the realities,
we are
under
under globalization.
and then you just keep anywhere in some chivera where you keep getting a scoop and whatever, which is even wet, and then the moisture keeps on building. So those practices at home, that you want to, for instance, you want to get maize flour from a cavera you've bought, but then you're using a wet cup to pick. So someone is scooping with a wet cup. Remember, we're talking about
wet hands.
All the hands are wet. But remember, the problem we're talking about is facilitated by moisture. So every time you're just scooping with a wet hand, with wet cups, with wet whatever, you're increasing the moisture content of that sack, and so you're creating mold. So it's an issue of proper handling. How are you handling the food? Now, when it comes to traders, it is even terrible. What the traders are doing is that they go pick good maize, pick the one with aflatoxin, mix them. Haven't you seen that someone has a truck of maize that is clean, but then there were these 50 pieces which were molded, and then he says, "No, but how am I going to lose these 10 kilograms?" So from the selfish interest,
you mix them up.
The guy gets the other 10 kilograms, mixes them with the 100 kilograms which were good. Now the 10 contaminates the 50. So you have one sack which was made of very good maize, but the guy has put 10 kilograms of the contaminated maize. Now what is wrong with that one? The problem is, the more selfish you become with food safety, the more you fast die. That one is the logic. You know why? You will not eat your maize, but you will come and buy posho. So for you have mishandled the maize, thinking that you're going to take it on the market and will be consumed by the schools. You forget that your child is in a particular school and you do not know where they are buying that maize. So, you know how God does these things? They go and buy a batch that came from your farm and is taken to the school of your children. A few weeks later, your child gets sick, they send him back home. When your child comes back home, you get the same money they gave you. You take him to the hospital. So where is the wealth you wanted to have?
Nowhere.
So the money that you wanted to accumulate, you bring it to us in the hospital and we enjoy it. Why? Selfish interest. But you are just killing everybody. It is the same to stunting. Like I explained to you the stunting. For you think that your children are not going to eat that maize, which is okay. But someone's child who is going to be a potential husband to your girl has already taken it. So they go and give birth to stunted children. Why? Because of the mistake you thought you are doing out of selfish interest. So that, the issue of aflatoxins is everybody's issue.
It is discipline. It is more coming to discipline.
Now, Kamara, let us look at this. Let us look at this. You've gone to villages, even in cities here. You find a human being who is even going to church every Sunday or Saturday, or a Muslim who is even going for prayers every Friday. He gets maize, or potatoes, or rice, or whatever it is, and someone pours it on a tarmac road. He's a Christian.
Even on the ground.
You find it on the ground, in a trading center.
And the birds, even the hens are passing
everything, even the cars. Now you go here in town.
In Ichikubo.
There are 9 markets surrounding us here. When you go to those markets,
especially the one for the genets this side.
Yes.
My goodness.
Go there. All the equipment used there are not food grade.
They're all old.
Remember that they are processing these nuts every day, but they are not cleaning the equipment. So the aflatoxins that came in yesterday, they just add today another batch, and then tomorrow another batch.
So even if you brought good nuts, they would pick.
They can be contaminated from that processing.
And those machines look that.
Now you go to the shops. You know, I'm trying to show you the value chain. Go to the shops. They buy the groundnuts, leave them open for 2 months. Scoop here, scoop there, scoop there. At the end of the day, our maize, our food, our everything gets contaminated, and our people are consuming, and we get sick, we get ill, we die. People die, by the way. It's only that the medical records will not show you that you have died of aflatoxins, but they will say died of liver cancer. Where did it come from? Aflatoxins or something like that. Then they say they just bewitched the person, and yet it is an issue of the food, the way we are handling food. And actually, it's not only affecting health, it is even affecting economy.
Of course.
Do you know, if Kenya rejected 20,000 tons of maize, Sudan rejects 75 trucks, Rwanda rejected eggs the other day, another country, I don't remember which one it was, they rejected milk because of aflatoxins. Can you imagine how much money that is? Mind you, if you go back to the realities, these are farmers who borrowed money from the bank to plant 3 acres of maize. Now they are not able to sell the maize. They give it to a second-hand person, an aggregator. That aggregator also sends it to another person until they bulk like 1,000 tons or so. And then they transfer that batch to another country as an export. Now all of these guys I've talked about, they are waiting for the money until the final person sells, so that they can keep paying them their monies. That's how cooperatives work. So it's not that you are losing money as one. It means that the person who transported had the staff who are driving those trucks, and they gave you a contract. You're taking them in 5 days, but you're taking 15 days at the border because they cannot be cleared to cross. How much money are we losing in there? So the economy suffers, people remain poor, and yet they are working hard. That is what they call working. You work, but you're not working smart. So you are overworking from morning to night, but you cannot earn money from the produce that you're actually putting out there. And why are you not earning that? Mishandling of the food. Why are we not handling? Why are we not handling food well? Because of selfish interests of some people. I recently watched a video of one of our colleagues in that market you're talking about. This gentleman was clear. He said that he's sorry to the country. He did not know that was a food safety challenge. He has his sons. Every morning, they switch on the machine for Vinyewa. But in the night, that machine harbors rats. And he knows it.
Of course they go.
Of course they. So you have around about 100 rats. He says actually around 100 rats every day. So for him as an elder, when he comes to work, he first switches on some sound.
So then they can
the rats they run away. But he said
he starts business.
But he says his sons, they are not cautious like him. So when they come in the morning, get the guineas that slept over in the processing plant, pour them into the machine, and switch on the thing. So the machine starts running. Now it runs, and all the 100 rats or so, They get mashed in there and they are part of the diet. And he was saying it on air, so it wasn't like you're trying to concoct. It was on air, and I was making a video to try to apologize to the nation. So you see there is a lot of mess when it comes to food handling, and that is why our people will die of diseases that we do not even know the name.
What I know is that it's because people are not cautious.
Yes.
But if you said you are open from 8 to 4, you cleaned your machine.
Exactly.
No rat can come into the
exactly,
machine.
and that's how the standard is. The standard is that before you leave the operations, you have to clean.
You clean the machine, you make it safe, you cover it very well, and go.
Exactly. But what I talked about as selfish interests, you think that there are other people who will feed on your food. You forget that actually you're sending it to wholesalers, and the wholesalers are within your village, and then you go and buy there. So it's an issue of discipline of food. It's an issue of self-responsibility. It's an issue of love. Now that I'm on a TV that promotes faith, this business of Jesus said, love one another. It is not about any other love. It's about that. How do you provide food that is safe to your neighbor? It's an issue that we're talking about.
Wow. Thank you so much, Bernard. You know, when you are speaking about food safety, aflatoxins, I keep a lot to learn. That's why I do not really interject you a lot.
Yes.
And I really want you to power all the physiology, the biochemistry, the epidemiology of everything that you've studied. But very important to know is that we are winding up this very important program. And the next 5 minutes you will be telling us the best practices and your conclusive remarks, even the call to the nation, so that you can leave this.
Yeah, sure, thanks. If it were possible, we should buy ground nuts that are not unshelled.
Opened.
Yes. If it were possible, that would be the best. That's what the president is calling upon all of us. That if you want to go into the business of nuts, you start trading those ones which are not shelled. Why? Because people have taken advantage of others in mismanaging the nuts. That would be the best practice. 2, the farmers. Make sure you plant on time and you harvest timely, because there are farmers who grow nuts and then they harvest and then they leave them in the garden to dry. Remember, when they dry, because our weather changes and climate issues, you can think it is a sunny day or sunny season. You leave them hanging in the garden and the rain comes in the night.
Even at night.
Yes. So whatever you had protected, it is now nothing. Now you go back to square zero. And so we request that when you go to harvest, you must harvest and dry. Actually, the law says in other countries, here we are still joking with everything. Ground nuts are dried in 48 hours. That's how it is done. They are supposed to be dried in 48 hours, period.
You get it from the garden?
Get from the garden, dry them, 48 hours. They will be
from
dry.
Where? From the machines?
Yeah, they use solar drying or whatever, but in 48 hours the nuts are dry. But now for us here, because of our nature of acceptance of everything, we cannot. So that's why government has to invest in such things. That's why we need cooperatives, that when people are dealing with ground nuts, they have a cooperative. And the cooperative is given a machine that dries in 48 hours. Because the more you leave them longer,
so that they can keep the shells intact and clean.
Exactly,
and
yes. Exactly, yes. So that is what can be done. As from the part of the country, Ministry of Agriculture has to invest in such things. They are not expensive. It's only that we are still playing around. But those are some of the things that are working elsewhere. From the scientists have come up with something called AflaSafe. AflaSafe is a biosolution that we can use to actually control and prevent aflatoxins from the garden straight away.
Okay. So
that once you use it, then the aflatoxin can never enter that nut or that maize. Now, we have been thinking about aflatoxins for a very long time. This science has been with us for a long time. There are even people who came to benchmark from us and they have already implemented in their countries. For us, we are still because
there. We do not have money.
They say so, but why do we have money for health when we cannot control where the health is?
Nutrition is not a priority.
I mean, it is something to reflect. But you know what is happening is that now currently, IITA, it's one of the organizations, has sponsored the country actually to come up with a plant where we can process and produce. IITA? It's an organization, IITA, some tropical something. So it's an organization that has invested at Naro. They have put up a factory that will be producing AflaSafe. Now it is up to the government to produce. But for them, they have given us infrastructure. The science is here with us. What is left is for you guys to invest in us and to produce this thing and to give up.
Tell your bosses
I don't know now, but you'll have to start there. but anyhow, there are solutions. Those are some of the solutions.
Yes.
Now, 3, we need to think about good agronomic practices, but also good manufacturing practices, hazard control. When you're in factories, when you're in processing units, how are we handling the GNATs? Last night I was working on a law for GNATs that will probably guide the GNAT processors how to handle ground nuts, so that we avoid this aflatoxin thing. We are trying to work on it. When it is ready, probably we shall share it out. So we are trying to work out a framework how best the farmers, the vendors, the traders, everybody can manage.
And the consumers.
Yes, of course, the consumers. Now, on the consumer level, we want to encourage you that when you see mold on food, please don't eat. Just know that it's danger.
It's a consumer alert.
Yes. 2, if you're a consumer and you've bought your foodstuffs and you put them at home, please desist from opening this, whatever you are putting the food and using a wet cup or a wet scoop or wet hands, because the moment you use
in short, they do reverse of what we say.
Exactly, yes. Just do the reverse of what we've been talking about, and then you'll be sorted with aflatoxins. And actually, we can chase them away in our homes, in our restaurants, in our processing units, even during transportation. We can deal with this whole thing.
Wow.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bernard. Before we leave, please greet people at the Consent Uganda, and then I close the program.
Okay, I want to send the greetings, of course, to my colleagues at the Global Consumer Center, Consent, of course, our CEO, Mr. Chimera, and our colleagues, Asha, Ronette, and Kate, Mila, and other colleagues who are there. We really want to thank you. They are paying attention. They'll be listening in to the show, but also my members of the Food Safety Coalition of Uganda. We send you greetings, and let us keep sensitizing the masses on this subject. We want everyone safe and sound. Please, when it is not safe, it is not food, and we have to aim higher for food safety for all and by all. I thank you, colleagues, for listening to the show, and we catch up again. Thank you.
Now, thank you so much, dear friends, for watching Good Television. Food safety can never leave your tongue, can never leave your community or your household. You just have to be cautious. I am Kamara Daniel for this very important health program. Hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.
Good Day TV, transforming your life. Lero Good Day TV. Lero Good Day TV. Tosubwa Good Day TV.
Abagalwa abalungi, erinnya lya Mukama waffe Yesu Kristo lyebazibwe nnyo. Mbalamusizaako, amannya gange nze Kasozi Robert Cephas. Mbanjulira programu ennungi mwogenda okuyita okusisinkana Kristo, okwateko bisuubizo, osumululwe, owangule, eyitibwa You Can Be Delivered, ngekutusibwako obuweereza obwa Raising David's Tabernacle Ministries wano ku Good Day TV buli lwa Sande okutandika essaawa 5 ez'ekiro, n'olwokusatu okutandika essaawa 3 ez'akawungeezi. Tugendanga kubeera wamu. Oludde mu bulwadde, olinayo ebintu byonna ebikutawaanya wadde nga walokoka, olinayo ebintu ebyo nga obisabidde naye nga bigaanyi, oba nsonga ya birooto, ng'ebirooto bikufuukidde ebirooto tobitegeera, ogezezzaako eno n'eno. Programu eno egenda kubeeramu essuubi, ekyokuddamu, okuwangula, okubotola mu maka, mirimu n'ebirala bingi. Kale nkusaba onneegatteko wano ku Good Day TV. Akaseera ako kagenda kuba kakusumululwa. Nkulinze, Mukama akutwere omukisa. Tosubwa programu eno.
Mikwano gyange abalungi abaagalwa, leero mbalese ku products zaffe ez'ekakiri kikugi. Olina Jevic Properties Limited. So tuyinawo products mu miwendo egy'enjawulo kakiri kikugi okutandikira ddala ku millions 2 ate nga ziri negotiable. Osobola ofuna futi 5 ku 10 or about ng'erina n'ekyapa ekya private mile. It's a few meters okuva ku main road. Osobola okukozesa like 5 minutes okutuuka wano ku site. Kifo kirungi, abantu bazimbye nga wosobola okulaba, ka view kalungi nnyo. Plots zina view. So actually obeera ng'oli eyo nga weetaaga plot erina ekifaananyi ekirungi ng'erina ka view, osobola okujjira ddala wano. Plots zisigaddewo ntono nnyo, amazzi n'amasannyalaze biri ku site. Buli kimu kyonna kiteeketeeke era kirungi ngera we mmanyi zi estate enteeketeeke. Plots we ziri zisigaddewo ntono nnyo, jangu wegulire plot ku millions 2 ate nga tukkiriza n'enkola ey'ekibanja mpola oba ky'oyinza okuyita installment payments. Plots zisigaddewo ntono ddala ate nga za byapa. Amazzi n'amasannyalaze ekyo nkimannyonnyodde nti weegali ate nga okuva kikugi mu town teweetaaga yadde boda. It's a few meters. It's like 100 meters okuva kikugi mu town, then okuva ekakiri teweetaaga nnyo sente nnyingi, boda ya 1,000 oba 1,500 osobola n'otambuzayo ebigere oba toyinaamu. So kifo kirungi, kiteeketeeke, mwebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala.
Abajjeviki ffe tusinga, mu by'amataka ffe tusinga. Kuno sikuta kuloda. Jukira nti bw'ogula ettaka mu Uganda Properties Limited oba oyingidde butereevu mu kalulu k'okuwangula ennyumba. Olw'ensonga eyo enkola n'obukwakkulizo bigobererwa.
Good Day TV, transforming your life.
Bagalwa tubaanirizaako nate essaawa zaffe zino bwe zituuka. Programu ya eno you can be delivered ebe etuuse ku mpewo eza Good Day TV. Bane tubaanirizaako mwena. Shalom. Tubakulisaayo ku mirimu yonna gye mubadde. Abakozi mwena Katonda abawe omukisa. Mukama abakole bulungi.